by some rain falling at game time. And welcome back to Petco Park, the first home Sunday on the regular season schedule. Back with Mark Grant, Matt Vasgersian. The Padres trying to win their second consecutive series to open the year. Let's first check the Rockies starting lineup, brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Finley, Matsui, and Atkins lead things off for Colorado tonight. Todd Helton, Matt Holliday, and Brad Hopp 4 through 6. Matt Holliday with good career numbers against Jake Peavy. Yorvik Torrealba, Troy Tulowitzki, and Aaron Cook round things out for Colorado. It is Jake Peavy looking to follow up a splendid opening day assignment in San Francisco on Tuesday. Jake went 6 innings of scoreless baseball in his first assignment of the year, and we're underway downtown today. First pitch to Steve Finley, taken for a strike.
Well, we've seen all 5 starters in the rotation. Second start for Jake Peavy, and he is fired up to be at home. Be interesting to see how the ball travels this afternoon, Matty. Overcast, it's a little cool out, a little mist falling at times.
Yeah, not a typical Easter Sunday for us here in Southern California. A bit gloomy outside. The 1-1 home to Finley misses down and away. Steve Finley making his first start of the series. As we talked about yesterday when he came in defensively. Now has been a member of every team in the National League West as the ex-Padre is late on a fastball 2-2. This the rubber match of the 3-game series. The Rockies, like the Padres, trying to start 2-0 in their first 2 series of 2007 as Finley sends that one into right center field. Cameron back and making the catch. Oh, how appropriate as we take a look at the Padres defensively, brought to you by Ocean's 11 Casino, home of racing for dollars, I-5 and Mission Avenue East in Oceanside. Mike Cameron, the key to the whole defense, making the whole thing work in center field. And before the game this afternoon, he was awarded with his 3rd Gold Glove. Folks from Rawlings on hand to present Gold Gloves to Greg Maddux and Mike Cameron for their defensive excellence in 2006.
These guys are going to have to build an extra room at their house for all these Gold Gloves. Maddux with 16. First time in the National League for Mike Cameron. You know, there's a lot of awards out there, Matty, but that Gold Glove is really special looking. Very, very cool.
So 1 gone. And that'll bring up the switch hitting second baseman Kazuo Matsui, who after a big opener on Friday was idled yesterday. 2 balls and no strikes to Matsui. Jamie Carroll got the start at second base last night. Matsui back out there today. And he's in front of Peavy 3-0. Let's get back to Jake for a minute, Mudcat. We mentioned during the open that Peavy lost both of his matchups against the Rockies last year, and he lost them in rather lopsided decisions. This lineup has been particularly difficult on Peavy over the years, starting with Finley at the top. Really the only Rocky that's struggled against Jake is the guy at the plate now, Kazuo Matsui. It's worth looking at those numbers one more time. Some really healthy lines for guys like Todd Helton, Matt Holliday.
When I look at these numbers and I think of these hitters going up to the plate against Jake Peavy, all these guys, don't get me wrong, every at-bat is a tough at-bat. The concentration level is there, but I think against a team ace like a Jake Peavy, the intensity level goes up just a skosh, just a little bit more, because he is Jake Peavy. They know he won an ERA title. They know he won a strikeout title. So I think they get geared up a little bit more. Not saying that other guys throw at-bats away against number 3, 4, and 5 starters.
Back to a full count now. Matsui slapping him foul. It's still 3-2.
I remember walking around the clubhouse on days in the Houston Astrodome when Nolan Ryan was pitching. Guys were fired up. You know, the intensity level raised up just a little bit.
It's almost like the individual example of a team playing the Yankees. You always want to knock off whoever is the best in their field, and Peavy happens to be one of the best out there these days. Matsui pops into center field. Cameron started back, and it drops in front of him. Wow. Mike was just flat fooled by that ball.
Did you see immediately when he threw that ball in, he looked over at Jose Cruz Jr. and kind of patted himself on the chest saying, my bad. That's just a bad jump. He anticipated that ball jumping off a little bit more, and wow.
Scored as a single for Matsui, and now Garrett Atkins, the batter for Colorado. Atkins, one of those who's had success against Jake, 4 for 9 in his career, and Peavy starts him with a strike. The Rockies' third baseman, 2 for 7 in this series so far.
Getting back to Mike Cameron, tell me he's not the type of guy to where if there's a ball now hitting the gap somewhere, he's going to lay out. Nobody feels worse than Mike right now. I mean, he knows there should be 2 outs. And he knows Jake Peavy has to reach back not only physically but mentally to try to get 2 more outs.
Boy, and these were the type of things that conspired against Jake all year long in 2006. Normally sure-handed outfielders, infielders, chances, opportunities, and those little clunkers, those bizarre antics. Back to Jake. He's got to plant and throw out Atkins by a step and a half. 2 gone for Peavy now as Matsui gets to second.
You know what I've noticed about Jake? Tell me if you agree with me. After the first start and even today in the first inning, watch his delivery, watch his follow-through. It's not like he's gung-ho 110% each and every pitch. He's a little bit smoother, more under control. I think he's realized, you know what? I don't have to throw the ball 100 miles an hour each and every time. I'll let some movement take care of the hitter. I'll work on location, hit my spots. That's what I've noticed. That one he humped up.
I'll bring up the perennial Padre killer and Peavy nemesis Todd Helton. Ball and no strikes to Helton, who's also 2 for 7 in this series. He's been on base safely in all 5 games thus far in 07. Matsui at second with 2 away. And Jake picks up the outside corner, 1-1. The Rockies stay on the road after this Easter Sunday ball game, and they'll head up to Los Angeles for 3 with the Dodgers. San Diego, they stay here, as you know, and they welcome Bruce Bochy and the Giants to town for a 3-game series that starts tomorrow night. We'll be talking all about that throughout the telecast this afternoon. Count is 2 balls and a strike on Todd Helton. No unbeaten teams left in Major League Baseball as a result of last night's activity. Already a lot of finals on this Easter Sunday. We'll look at the scoreboard a little later on today. The 2-1 from Peavy.
Heads
Helton
up.
slaps that one foul. Coming in hot after the third base coach, Mike Gallego.
Mike, let go Gallego.
New first base coach for the Rockies this year. Longtime Major League outfielder Glenn Allen Hill. His first year in a Rock uniform.
How about a nice change of pace right here from Jake? Fastball count.
Bard sets up away. Changeup misses low. And a full count now to Todd Helton.
Well, we've got first base open. Opens so many doors for Jake because he can control the cutter, the sinker, the changeup. Shaking off Bard. He knows exactly what he wants to throw in this situation.
On 3-2 again, he got him looking. And Helton knew it. Fooled him with a slider. Nothing doing in the Colorado half of inning number 1. Padres coming to bat. Oh, a misty view of Balboa Park from downtown this afternoon. Happy Easter Sunday to you. Good to have you along with us. Nothing in the Rockies half of the first. This is how Buddy Black aligns the Friars. Padres brought to you by all 6 Massey Nissan locations. Giles, and Gonzalez. Bard, Cameron, and Green. Kuzminoff, Cruz, and Peavy against 28-year-old right-hander Aaron Cook on the mound for Colorado this afternoon. Marcus Giles begins San Diego's offensive afternoon. Well, Aaron Cook coming off his first opening day assignment. As you take a look at his numbers, brought to you by the accident and injury attorneys at Pacific Law Center. A little disappointing on the opener. He gets Marcus to bounce to second on his second pitch of the game. Cook on Monday gave up 5 runs over 6 innings. It wasn't the kind of Aaron Cook performance that the Rockies had seen the past few years. And Colorado folks feel as though you could chalk some of that up to opening day jitters. He's been a good one over the past handful of years.
And he's going to continue to be a good one if he can stay healthy. Power sinker from Cook. Infielders, be ready. He can throw that pitch, Matty, 90-95% of the time and win at the big league level. He gets it up about 89 to 94 on that sinker, a slurve and a changeup.
1-1 strike to count to Brian Giles. Aaron Cook has had a lot of success against the Padres in his tenure as a Rocky starter. 7-3 against San Diego with an ERA of 2.94. A 2-to-1 career strikeout to walk ratio against the Padres.
You can even take that a step further, Matty. Last year, the 212 2/3 innings pitched, he only walked 55, so he's going to be around the plate.
The 2-2 home to Brian Giles. On the ground for Helton, the 3-time Rawlings Gold Glove Award winner. He makes the play for route number 2. Let's take a look at the rest of the Rockies defense, brought to you by SD Storage. Go to sdstorage.com for a location nearest you. Steve Finley in center field, making his first start of the series. 5-time Rawlings Gold Glove Award winner out there. 41 years old and still going.
He's got the physique of a 31-year-old. The Greyhound, the Whippet.
Here's Adrian Gonzalez now, last night's San Diego hitting hero. A couple of runs batted in for Gonzalez, including the game winner in the 9th. A bouncing ball on the right side. Helton to Cook, and it's the quickest of 1, 2, 3 bottoms of the first. On to the second, no score. Well, 3 more on this homestand. The Giants come to town tomorrow for the first of a 3-gamer, then a quick 2-game series with Arizona, and then a longer homestand later this month as Adrian Gonzalez tells us what's coming up at Petco Park.
Hey kids, April 29, we're playing the Dodgers at 105. Come out to the park and get your own Adrian Gonzalez glove.
Get your tickets at Padres.com. All kids 14 and younger get Adrian Gonzalez gloves, presented by Bank of America. Here's Matt Holliday leading things off in the Rockies half of inning number 2. Holliday, Hop, and Torrealba against Jake Peavy. Jake able to strand a 1-out single. A bloop single, might I add. Your only base runner thus far today.
Glad to see Jake Peavy didn't let that affect him the rest of the inning. There's a lot of pitchers out there that might get ticked off. He realizes the defense, the glove of Mike Cameron. He just made a mistake. Oh, pretty good pitch.
Now, according to home plate umpire Brian Onora, 2 balls and a strike to Holliday. Rockies left fielder 2 for 8 in the series so far. Both of the hits came in the opener on Friday. To 2-2. Fastball misses up and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The second full count from Peavy and 5 batters faced thus far.
And Jake's ticked. He wanted to bury that fastball right on the outside corner, and he would have had Holliday.
On the ground to third. Kuzmanov's there as a changeup takes care of Holliday for out number 1. You're always asking me this, you know, how you and I'm using your words. Matty, you know how I notice weird things?
Right.
Well, I'm starting to try to pay attention to some of your weird stuff now.
Right.
Is Jake using a different colored glove than he has in the past?
I think so. I think he used a lighter glove last year, did he not? Kind of like a darker, like a black glove. He did. Yeah, he did use a. You're right. Good call, Matty.
There's Brad Hop now with 1 gone. Have to talk to Jake about that and see if there's anything going on there. Any superstition, any story, any backstory to that?
Jake uses a smaller glove than most pitchers would use. Greg Maddux uses kind of a large glove.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Brad Hopp. Hopp was used yesterday as a pinch hitter, 0 for 5 in the series. Off to a good start in 2007.
Nice.
2-2. Another good slider from Peavy. That appears to be a very sharp pitch for him today so far.
You know, Jake throws the slider. He also throws the cutter. Sometimes that cutter will work its way into looking like a slider. More depth, more tilt on the slider. A cutter pretty much stays on the same plane.
2-2 pitches lined into right center. Brad Hopp is aboard with 1 gone. Remember, Jake told us after his opening day start on Tuesday in San Francisco that the plan between he and Josh Bard for the Giants that afternoon was just stay hard. Just hard stuff.
Right.
Fastball, sliders. We'll see if he keeps that philosophy in check here this afternoon.
I know one thing for sure. There's a lot of maroon in that Jake Peavy glove.
Here's your Torrealba with 1 out and 1 on. Torrealba making his first appearance of the series. The ex-Giant and erstwhile Mariner in his second season in Colorado.
I like situations like this because Torrealba, who's a free swinger, at times you don't have to throw him a strike. So what that means is that he will fish for one and hit it on the ground quite a bit. Grounding into a double play.
Boy, Jake is all around the plate with that slider this afternoon. Another good one to make it 1-1.
His last bullpen session for Jake Peavy, working more on the sliders.
Torrealba lines that into right field. Giles on the move in the corner, makes the catch for out number 2.
You get the same feeling I do every time the ball is hit down the right field line in the air that guy, number 24, has got a great chance of hauling it in. He's not scared of that wall out there, or that fence, that padded fence, or those bullpen hills. Mounds, I should say. Hills. Weak.
Hop at first with 2 gone now for Troy Tulowitzki, the shortstop, making his first appearance against Peavy. It'll be a memorable one for Jake as he gets that one right in the breadbasket.
Hockey suit.
Folks, the only way to secure tickets for the Red Sox series and other big games is with Padres season tickets. Plans start as low as $200. Choose from full half, 20 game, or the new 26 game plan. Call 795-5500 or visit Padres.com. There's Josh Bard to open the bottom of the second for San Diego. Bard, Cameron, and Green against Aaron Cook. Josh got the night off yesterday, allowing Rob Bowen an opportunity to make his first start of 2007. 0-2 to Josh Bard.
You know, Matty, every time you and I are talking to the hitters and there's a sinker ball pitcher like a Derek Lowe, Aaron Cook, what's the one thing that they always say? The game plan. Merv Retman even says it. You just got to try to make him get that sinker up. If you get that one pitch during the at-bat where it's up, you better capitalize on it, because he will just bury him down in the zone, and next thing you know, you're making that right hand turn back into the dugout.
Nothing in 2 the count to Josh Bard. Aaron Cook is just as aware as anybody that his repertoire is predominantly hard stuff. We talked about Peavy's philosophy on opening day. 81% of what Aaron Cook threw last year was a fastball, sinking fastball or otherwise. Chris Young right up there with him, but for Aaron Cook, it's almost all sinkers, as opposed to Chris Young, where it's almost always a four-seamer.
Yeah, and that fastball actually is maybe 2, could be 3 different types of pitches, because he can vary the speeds on it. As I mentioned earlier, he can get that sinker up to about 94 miles an hour. That one was 92 that you just saw. Again, it kind of straightened out a little bit. You take a little bit off, high 80s, and it has more sink to it.
Here's the 1-2 home to Bard. Just missed the inside corner. You know, you hear it a lot in spring training from guys that have such a big part of their repertoire with one type of pitch. I'm going to mix it up this year. I mean, how many years did Al Leiter go to spring training and say, I'm going to completely rethink the way I pitch, blah, blah, blah. And then opening day rolls around, and it's a matter of, you know, not abandoning something that's been successful for you. You can overthink things at times. Aaron Cook said similar things in camp. Maybe he'd try more off-speed pitches. Maybe he'd try to adjust the repertoire. It remains to be seen if that's actually what happens this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count to Bard, battling here to lead off the second. That's into left, and a fair ball. It takes a Rockies bounce in left field. Holiday up throwing, but it's too late, and Bard's able to hang on to the bag for a leadoff double.
Healthy diet of sinkers, down and away, up and away, and Josh Bard stays on this last sinker nicely. It's down. That's exactly where Aaron Cook wants to work. That one almost kicks up some chalk, and look at Bardo go. I don't think he slid hard enough to really overslide the bag. See that?
But tell him you said that.
I'll tell him to his face.
Oh, okay, tough guy.
Yeah.
Here's Cameron now with Bard at second to lead off the inning. Mike is the only Padre batter in the lineup today that has faced Aaron Cook without a base hit. 0 for 8 career against the Colorado right-hander. Cameron enjoyed a 2-hit night yesterday and is in front of Cook here 2-0.
It's really hard to inside out a hard sinker from Aaron Cook like to a righty Mike Cameron. You know what I'm saying? Nobody out. You want to try to get that guy over to third base. To really get those hands through early, hit the inside part of that sinker to the right side. Because a lot of righties, they get that sinker on the inner part of the plate and they pull it. Therefore, you keep the runner at second base. See him try to maybe inside out that ball a little bit. This is a sinker that's down, but see how Mike kind of, did his body language kind of tell you that he maybe wanted to try to go the other way with that? Or
That's such a good pitch because it's a strike, even if he doesn't swing at it.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike to count to Cameron now. Bard at second to lead things off here in the second inning. 3-1 to Cameron now. This being a low-scoring series, neither team has had a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position. The Padres were only 1 for 7 last night, but the one was Gonzalez's game winner in the 9th. Here we go on 3-2 to Cameron. Khalil Green waiting next for San Diego. You know all about his exploits against the Rockies over the last couple of years. Greeny down in that National Geographic pose, preparing a meal.
He's got some flint.
San Francisco's on the board in the bottom of the first inning at home against the Dodgers. 1-0 Giants, the early score there. Barry Zito on the mound for San Francisco. Randy Wolf for the Dodgers. On 3-2 again to Cameron. A bouncing ball to the left side. That's going to keep Bard at second, unfortunately. Boy, and they just do get Cameron at first.
You know, Matty, they may have had a chance at Bard at second base to throw behind the runner and get him. Matsui was thinking about going over there. This ball is hit to short. And you can see Josh Bard was diving back to second base. But as far as Tulowitzki's thinking, you know what? I want to get the for sure out. There's Bard. He kind of slips. Would have been close.
So one gone. Bard stays at second. Now Khalil Green, hitless yesterday for the first time this season. 0 for 4 on Saturday night. He is not missing by much, even when he misses with the sinker. And I don't think Bob Apodaca is going to be too worried if he's missing down there with that pitch. Ball and no strikes to Khalil. High fly ball into central as Finley measures it off for out number 2. It's unusual enough just to see a fly out against Aaron Cook. 2 gone now.
Yeah, it's about 3-1 as far as ground ball to fly ball outs for right-hander Aaron Cook.
Last year, one of the best ground ball to fly ball ratios in baseball. Here's Kevin Kuzminoff now. Kevin had the night off yesterday after an 0 for 4 on Friday night. Making, of course, his first appearance against Aaron Cook. Bard led off the inning with a double. Cameron grounded out. Green flied out. You're familiar with Aaron Cook's story at this point in terms of the adversity he's battled through just to get out there and take the mound every 5th day. A few seasons ago, after his start against Cincinnati, complained of dizziness and shortness of breath. Had to be removed from the game. The diagnosis was blood clots in his lungs.
Guy's lucky he's alive.
As it turns out, his top right rib was applying pressure on his veins, and it led to 2 blood clots and a very serious physical condition, as you mentioned. Had to have that top right rib removed, rehab, and eventually get back to work on the mound. Two balls and a strike to count here to Kevin Kuzminoff. Shoots that one foul. Talked to Merv Rettenman before the series started Friday night about Kevin's first week around the league. Remember the ball that he hit here Friday, that shot out to right center field that was handled by Willie Taveras?
Yeah, and you said welcome to Petco Park.
Probably as good as Kevin squared up on a ball so far this season. And Murph thinks it's just a question of perhaps Kevin trying to do a little bit too much in his first week in uniform. Nobody's worried about it. Wow. We haven't seen that called all day.
Ball's off the plate.
Kuzminoff caught looking. Cook's first strikeout of the ball game keeps us scoreless through 2. No.
Every pitch in clear Panasonic motion. Panasonic Plasma for the speed of sports. Panasonic, ideas for life.
No score as we go to the top half of the 3rd inning, and unfortunately the bat was taken out of Kevin Kuzminoff's hand at the end of the 2nd. That is low and outside, and you know, for a young hitter, here's another good shot that'll validate the accuracy of pitch tracks. You know, Merv knew it was low and away. It's a young hitter. It's a fly ball out to center field as Aaron Cook's retired to start the 3rd. You hate seeing that call made against anybody, but against a guy like Kevin Kuzminoff, who's going through this stuff for the first time, and as we mentioned, might be pressing a little as it is, and then that conspires against you.
You know what happens, or you know what can happen after that? Start swinging at bad pitches because you might get rung up on it. And then your whole swing is messed up.
One gone for Jake Peavy here, and now it's Steve Finley.
I was going to mention something about Steve Finley last time. You know how people say that over the course of time you start to look like your pets?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that expression?
I have.
How about Steve Finley? You know how I call him the Greyhound, the Whippet, just because, first of all, because his speed in the outfield back in the day. He's a Southern Illinois University Saluki. Does he look like a Saluki, maybe?
The Saluki is a fighting Egyptian war dog.
Yes, it is.
So, sure. Well, he's been outstanding against the Padres before and after. 170 games against San Diego, a career 300 hitter against one of his ex-employers. Behind 1-2, Peavy's pitch.
Oh. That's the same pitch that Cook threw.
It's a 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And you know, that's never a pitch that's called for a strike because left-handers, they'll call that against right-handers, but inside the lefties, they won't call it.
Fly ball into right field. Giles is there. Plenty of haze and cloud cover today. A little friendlier on the eyeballs. 2 gone.
They got the candles lit here at Petco Park, Matty.
They do. I didn't notice that. The lights are on at not even 2 p.m. There's one of our new looks from high atop the Diamond View Tower. 15+ stories in the air.
Every time I see that shot, I think of Karen Carpenter.
What?
I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation.
0-2 the count to Kazuo Matsui, and we can't get to commercial fast enough, Jake. Punch this guy out right here. Let's slow down Magra from the American Idol thing. Sanjaya is safe for another week if you're in the building. 1-2 to Matsui, who singled in the first. Now 4 for 5 in 2 starts in the series. Got him.
Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? Maddie, 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 baby.
Jose Cruz Jr. leads off the home third. Cruz, Peavy, and Giles against Aaron Cook. No score early this afternoon on this Easter Sunday telecast downtown. Jose Cruz Jr. scored the game-winning run last night for San Diego in the last of the 9th. He opened the inning with a single and came around in front of Adrian Gonzalez's game-winning knock. Only hit for San Diego through the first 2. Josh Bard's leadoff double in the second. Josh unable to move off second base, however, and it's 1-1 to Cruz. Dodgers and Giants now even at 1 apiece in the second inning, as San Francisco tries to salvage 1 in that series with LA.
Wow. See the bottom just drop out of that pitch?
We haven't seen a lot of changeups this afternoon, but that was a good one on 1-1. Take a look again.
Watch the tilt on this. It's just off the table. We talk about curveballs being off the table. It's a nice changeup. That's one of the occasional curveballs you'll see from Aaron Cook. Like a show-me pitch, right? I think he purposely did not throw that for a strike because he didn't want to hang it into the left-hander so he can pull it.
I think we've seen enough in this series, and it's only been 3 games, but as familiar as we are with guys like Jeff Francis, Rodrigo Lopez, the other 2 in the rotation, we've seen Jason Hurst, Josh Fogg, and Aaron Cook today. I think this group's going to be just fine without Jason Jennings. Cruz bounces it to first. Todd Helton makes the catch. 1 away. Everybody loves day games at Petco Park. For more on day games downtown, here's Mike Cameron.
Enjoy Padre Day games and get 2 tickets for the price of 1 every Thursday afternoon game.
5 Thursday afternoon games at Petco Park this year. 2-for-1 prices on tickets and hot dogs. 2-for-1 days are presented by Bullfrog. There's Peavy now with 1 gone. I know that the Padres themselves, the guys in uniform, enjoy day games here at Petco Park. In fact, almost to a man, the day-night splits are much better offensively in the afternoon. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, how the team as a whole scored more, hit more, slugged more in day games. So what's true collectively, of course, can be broken down individually as well. But just to refresh the numbers for you. On base more often. Almost 20 points better on the batting average during the afternoon. A couple of notable exceptions. Adrian Gonzalez seemed to be one of the few that actually had bigger numbers at night. For whatever reason, the slugging percentage of 70 points better under the candles.
Look at how far Jake is up in the box.
Matsui makes the play and throws him out. He has really had a fine series.
Jake was well up into the box, that front foot on the chalk line, wanting to get in front of that sinker before it really sank. And you know, his foot looks like he was out of the box. A nice play by Matsui, taking away a safety. He actually caught that ball behind him.
Five in a row retired by Aaron Cook as he sets down 8 of his first 9. And now Marcus Giles, who opened the first inning with the ground ball.
You know, I wonder why more guys don't move up in the box. Maybe because it's a comfort zone. I would say 98, 99% of the guys put that back foot on the back chalk line. Because it's a matter of foot, 12 inches, 13 inches. Going to make that big of a difference of the sinker, trying to get it out in front more before it really sinks. Hey, now, look out.
Sawed him off. Boy, that looked like it was coming for Marcus's head. And that's pure self-defense. Ironically, as he fouls it off, he sends the left side of the infield for cover. 1-2 now.
Oh,
that would have hit him if he didn't swing at it.
Ball's down by the knuckles.
Brother Brian waiting on deck with 2 away. Marcus trying to keep the 3rd inning hot. Struck him out. 2 punch outs for Aaron Cook as he gets through the Friars in order again. Scoreless as we move to the 4th and take a look at this afternoon's Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Back in '92, November of '92 to be exact, the Rockies and Marlins had their inaugural expansion drafts. Who was the Rockies' first draft pick?
I know that
process.
You know that one?
I do. Didn't quite have the career they had hoped.
Nope.
We'll talk about that as we continue. And moving along now to the top of the 4th. Where Garrett Atkins leads off for the Rockies. Atkins, Helton, and Holiday for Colorado.
You know, I just got a call from a friend. Can I say something? My good friend Derek Evans, the son of Darrell Evans.
Really?
He said if I ever sing Karen Carpenter again, he's going to break the TV. And I want him to keep watching.
Darrell Evans' kid lives in San Diego?
He lives up in Irvine area, Orange County, and he's down visiting some family.
Nice.
For Easter. So D. Evans, what up?
Darrell Evans was one of the guys around in San Francisco on opening day, one of the former All-Stars. Darrell Evans,
he could hit.
He could hit, and he's one of those guys that you don't think of at first when you think of, you know, power hitters from the late 70s, early 80s.
Good third baseman.
Sends it back up the middle. He was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Darrell Evans was the first player to hit 40 home runs in both leagues. And for a while, he was the oldest player to hit 40 home runs.
I think you're correct.
I don't think either one of those are, well, you could still be the first.
Right. He was also in that trifecta that hit the
three guys that hit 40.
Right.
The Braves.
Davey Johnson, Hank Aaron, and Darrell Evans, right?
Helton taps it back to Peavy. Has a little trouble getting it out of the glove, but he shovel tosses to first in time. It's not scored as a sacrifice, but Atkins gets to second base, one away.
Well, you know, you keep Helton in the ballpark and prevent him from hitting into extra bases. That's a big out. Sure, he moves up 90 feet. That's Atkins, but you get a big out there. That first out is always so important.
You know, you wonder why occasionally baseball teams get screwed up. And, you know, players get the blame, managers get the blame. When Darrell Evans was working as a roving instructor for the Cubs in the early 90s, working with the minor leaguers on hitting, they had 2 roving minor league hitting instructors that year. Darrell Evans, who achieved so much of his success by pulling the baseball, and Richie Zisk, who was almost just the opposite type of hitter.
Richie Zisk.
So Darrell Evans would come by with these 18-year-old kids, and he'd say, here's how I want you to do this, set up this way, do this. And then Richie Zisk would come in the following week, and he'd say, yeah, don't do that, do this. Is it a wonder how a kid can get screwed up?
Why are they hiring 2 hitting instructors, for crying out loud?
It's the Cubs. On the ground for second baseman Marcus Giles. Gonzalez just stays on the bag, and they record the out on Holiday with Atkins moving to third. Inconsistent messaging.
Yeah.
Not true only in baseball. There are plenty of other sports organizations that can confuse players that way. Brad Hopp now with 2 gone and a runner at third. He singled in the second. Brad Hopp, an LSU guy. Louisiana State University, traditionally a strong baseball program. Though an LSU player, Brad Hopp this past offseason, last offseason that is, prior to 06, spent some time at TCU, Texas Christian University in Dallas, working out with their nationally ranked track and field team. The 1-1 to him. Lined in the center field, a base hit that'll drive in Atkins and give the Rockies the lead. Colorado the first to score in all 3 games in this series. It's 1-0 Rocks. Brad Hopp perfect 2 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, Matty, I was just going to say, you know, we talk about the hard sinker from Aaron Cook, but Jake Peavy also trying to work down to the zone. And the one thing I noted during that at bat, one is Hopp likes the ball down, and he takes that ball nicely to the opposite field. But Josh Bard had to reach across the plate. He wanted that ball down and away. So Jake actually missing with the location that he wanted to throw that pitch.
Yorvik Torrealba checks his swing. A ball and no strikes on the Colorado backstop. He lined to right in his first try. One and one. Yorvik Torrealba last year on opening day was on the disabled list, and it almost happened to him again this year. Suffered a sprained right ankle the last week of spring training running out a ground ball. But was okay to make the opening day roster healthy this season. Check swing bouncer to third. As Kuzminoff throws him out, the Rockies do get a run on a couple of singles, a man left. We played 3.5, 1-0 Colorado. It's a Sunday tradition at Petco Park. The future men and women of the USMC. We welcome 1st Recruit Training Battalion Charlie Company in the Petco Park this afternoon. And always a great round of applause when the halls of Montezuma is blared over the stadium PA system here. 1-0 Rockies as we start the last of the fourth. Brian Giles digs in for San Diego. Giles, Gonzalez, and Bard here against Aaron Cook. First run of the game coming across in the top of the fourth on the 2-out single by Brad Hopp. Two 2-0 to Giles. Bryant's had great success against Aaron Cook over the years. 10 for 25 at the start of play today. In the interest of fairness, after all, we talked about how some of these Rockies have had good looks at Jake Peavy. The opposite is also true. Three and one. And I think home plate umpire Brian Honora called that strike. Looked like Giles checked his swing. And now a full count. Behind in the count, what else? A sinker on 3-1,
yeah.
So now it's a full count.
You know, that's a tough at-bat. When a call is made like that, it just changes the whole at-bat. Rather than Brian being on first base and Cook out of the stretch, now he's got to really battle here. 3-2.
Brian, one of those Padres that we talked about earlier, who last year had far more success in the afternoon. 288 during the daytime, 251 at night. And a bouncing ball to second. Matsui gets in front of it. One away. Let's answer the Aflac trivia question. The Rockies' first pick in their original expansion draft. They took him from the Braves, right-hander David Need, who finished with 17 major league wins in parts of 5 seasons in the big leagues. One gone now for Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian bounced to the right side. Take a look at this play by Matsui, Mudcat. It looks pretty pedestrian. Moving nicely to his right. Gets his body in front of it. Believe it or not, that was something that was an issue for him as a New York Met when he came over from the Saibu Lions. Gonzalez sends a fly ball the opposite way. Kazuo Matsui was also always taught in Japan, get your body in front of it at all costs. Always get your body there, even at risk of being in a position to make a throw and getting there too late. When he came to the Mets, they tried instilling into him this idea that you could backhand a ball when possible. If time is an issue here, sometimes you have to make the play backhanded and not do it fundamentally correct. He was always using his body to get in front of the baseball and giving up a lot of base hits that way because he no longer had time to make the throw. So it was a problem. It took him a good year plus to get used to the idea of occasionally backhanding a ball.
I can imagine.
Josh Bard with a well-struck ball into right that hangs for Brad Hopp. We'll talk about that as we continue, but it's a quick 1-2-3-4 for Aaron Cook. 1-0 Rockies. Viejas mid-game recap. A 1-0 lead for Colorado as the first 4 innings of this one have played out in similar fashion as to the rest of this series. Low-scoring pitchers duels, all 3. As Jake Peavy goes back to work here in the 5th, he gets Troy Tulowitzki, then the pitcher spot, and then top of the order Steve Finley. One-0 pitch to Tulowitzki's in for his strike. 1 for 7 in the series
From Double-A to the big leagues, Matty Tulowitzki. You know who else was like that? Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. Middle 80s, Giants.
Well, there have been a lot of guys like that. Let's see, middle 80s Giants. Mark Grant.
No. Robbie Thompson, second baseman for the Giants. Double-A Shreveport, came to spring training the next year on the roster. They needed a second baseman. Played a great second base, and Roger Craig said, you know what? We've got no choice. RT is our guy. Played there for what, 8-10 years? All-star.
2-2. Chopper to shortstop. Green is there. And one shortstop retires the other. How about the guys in the truck? They dug up some old PV footage from last year, and in fact, he was using a black glove in 2006.
Nice pickup, Matty.
Well, I think it's pretty good work downstairs.
That is a sweet glove.
There's Aaron Cook now. He takes a strike. Cook flied to center in his first at-bat today.
What kind of glove did you use in high school?
It was an oven mitt, actually. And if you ever saw me play in high school,
Did you play in high school?
know that. Yeah, for a short while.
Really? What'd you play?
I was never any good. I was an outfielder. They tried me at second base because I was, small, but had no ability. It's a problem. Swing and a miss by Cook, and there are two gone.
That's what's nice for Jake Peavy in an inning like this, to have the pitcher like Cook up there for the second out. You make short work of him, and then back to the top of the order. He didn't foul off a lot of pitches, having him work. Jake up to 67 pitches.
There's Steve Finley now. One of the ex-Padres you'll see come through Petco Park in a visitor's uniform this year. What do you think about it? Get onto the blog, 4sd.com/blog. We've seen Steve Finley as a visitor now for a long enough time to where, your sensibilities aren't thrown into a state of shock. But there's been so much change in the NL West this year with Dave Roberts in San Francisco, Ryan Klesko in San Francisco, Luis Gonzalez, the longtime Diamondback, now a Dodger. The topic is open for discussion on the Channel 4 blog. 0-2 the count to Steve Finley. Just a run on 4 singles against Jake today. Still just a run on 4 singles as Finley's fly ball is handled by Mike Cameron. Middle of the afternoon on this Easter Sunday. It's still just 1-0 Colorado. .com for the location nearest you. Beautiful pictures of the Hotel Del today. I'm sure there has been pretty good business out there for Easter Sunday brunch. As the slider starts, Mike Cameron with a swing and a miss. Cameron, Green, and Kuzminoff here for San Diego.
Matty, you know what I noticed last half inning when Aaron Cook was out there on the hill? Adrian Gonzalez, Josh Bard, first pitch curveballs for strikes. Trying to mix it up a little bit as they go through the second time of the order, rather than the hard sinkers.
Right, and he started Cameron here with slider changeup.
Yeah. You don't want to fall into a pattern.
The 1-1 home to Mike. Swing and a drive to left. It'll hang up for Holiday. One away. 10 in a row retired by Aaron Cook. This date in baseball history, April 8th, 2004. The Padres rally with 2 in the 10th to beat the Giants in the first ever regular season game at Petco Park. This date in baseball history brought to you by your San Diego County Jeep dealers. It was not technically the first game ever here. As you'll recall, Tony Gwynn's Aztecs played Nebraska in what was the first ever baseball game here. A few days later, the Padres opened the major league season at this ballpark. 0-1 to Khalil Green. On one hop for Matsui. Knocked it down and throws him out.
Now there's one of those plays you were talking about last half inning about Matsui having enough time to get in front of it, anchor himself, take it in the gut, and then plenty of time. You know, it's funny, we were talking about second baseman last half inning. Robbie Thompson was great at getting in front of the baseball, knocking it down, and not panicking. You know what I'm saying? Some guys will knock it down and panic and try to, you know, they can't find the handle. They mess up the throw. You realize if the ball is hit sharply like that, you have plenty of time to knock it down in front of you and make a good throw to first.
Kevin Kuzminov one hops it out to third. Another quick inning by Aaron Cook. 12 in a row retired by the Rocky right-hander. Still 1-0 Colorado. 1-0 Colorado. Time to take a look at the Esurance comparison of the game. Get your auto insurance quote and compare rates instantly at esurance.com. Comparing bullpens through 5 games this year. Really no comparison. The Rockies have given up runs every game. The Padres yet to allow a run this year. An encouraging sign if you talk about finally being able to get Aaron Cook out of there. He has been the problem this afternoon. Jake Peavy back to work. Kazuo Matsui leads things off in the 6th inning for Colorado. 2, 3, 4 batters for the Rockies. Well, he has been so impressive in this series. Kazuo Matsui single today. 4 for 6 in a couple of starts.
In.
Jake gets him here. 1 gone for Peavy, who started 2007 in very different fashion from 2006 because of preparations for the World Baseball Classic. We asked him about it earlier.
You know, this spring training I was able to do, you know, gear up everything that I had, you know, to get ready for was opening day. Last spring was obviously completely different. Had to get ready awfully early, pitching in huge games. I mean, the most intensity-filled games I've ever pitched in March, and then kind of coming down off that high, you know, for a start or 2 in spring training, and then getting back into the grind. You know, it was kind of different on the body and a different mindset, a different, you know, whole feeling coming into the season.
He's absolutely right. I mean, that's the one thing we talked about, the intensity level. Jake this year went into spring training knowing what his routine was going to be. The whole throwing program, November, December, January, February. You got to gear it up. It's totally different. It was a huge part. Hey now.
Well, Giles almost makes the catch on Atkins' foul pop. Yeah, and to be honest, it's not what Major League Baseball wants to hear. They don't want to hear anything remotely negative about the World Baseball Classic. And let's face it, that if a lot of guys realize that the World Baseball Classic is going to goof them up for the regular season, fewer guys are going to want to play, especially U.S. players. It's going to mean a whole lot more for smaller countries to excel in the World Baseball Classic than it is for a guy who's guaranteed to make huge money playing in the big leagues. This one straightened out for Giles, and 2 gone for Peavy here in the 6th. And don't misinterpret what Jake's saying. He's not at all being critical of the WBC. It's simply a fact that it changed the way he had to prepare last year. Two gone now for Todd Helton, who's hitless 0 for 2 today. Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead in San Francisco. That one's in the 4th.
You know, Matty, if people are joining us late, I want to reiterate what I mentioned about Jake Peavy. It's worth mentioning again, but he's just not as amped up as we've seen him in the years past. You know, he's more free and easy. Not 110% each and every pitch. He'll gear it up when he needs to, when he wants to, but he's going to realize, you know, over the course of the long haul, this marathon, the baseball season, I think it's going to benefit him in July, August, and September. There's no better feeling, I'm telling you. You go out for an inning, You throw a little BP fastball first pitch, and the guy swings from his shoes. Grounder to third. Take a hike. 1 out.
Here's the 0-2 home.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I've never felt that.
You know what I'm saying.
But I can understand how that would be very satisfying to go out there with minimal effort.
I mean, why tighten up for 20 pitches an inning to where you can be free and easy and let your movement get people out and throw 6 pitches and get out of the inning? That's fun.
Helton fouls that one away. Helton just protecting here on 0-2. He's taken a couple of really defensive swings.
How about Jake going all the way over towards the top step of the dugout trying to get that foul ball? Popped up. Got to go.
You know, there's been a rules alteration regarding foul pops over there. If Jake had as much as 1 foot on the top of the dugout step, it's no catch.
Really?
Yeah. Cannot leave the playing field.
Kind of to protect the players.
And it's designed exclusively to protect the players. That's right.
You can still dive in, though, can't you?
No. Well, if your feet are touching the field, you're okay. If your feet are not touching the field, if your top step's on the dugout, no catch. Not to worry here. 7 in a row retired by Peavy. Come see the Padres take on the Dodgers at the end of the month, and as Trevor Hoffman will tell us, you'll never have to ask anybody what time it is ever again.
Hey fans, Friday, April 27th, we take on the Dodgers at 7:05. Come to the park and get one of my Trevor Time desk clocks.
Get your tickets early and save at Padres.com. Trevor Time desk clocks presented by Bank of America. Jose Cruz Jr. leads off San Diego's 6th.
Looks like a pizza oven.
What's that?
That clock? Like an outdoor pizza oven.
Oh, the bell, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bell on the clock. Whatever.
Cruz, Peavy, and Giles. Is that hard-hitting Channel 4 analysis? A 1-2 the count to Jose Cruz Jr. By the way, if Aaron Cook is able to go 6 here, that is if he gets through this inning, Rockies starters will have each tossed 6+ in their first start. And that's the first time these guys have gone around the rotation for the first time with everybody giving him 6+ innings. He is well on his way. He strikes out Jose Cruz. That's 13 in a row for Aaron Cook.
Can I elaborate on that clock?
Yeah.
What a great idea this would be. You know the clock, it's great. I could see my son having one in his room. You know what they should have on that clock, though, like on the top? Something to where you can change the numbers so you can count the saves of the year that Trevor has. You come home after the game or watching on Channel 4, hey, Trevor got a save, got to notch another save. I think it's a great idea. Sorry about being a marketing genius.
0-1 to Peavy.
What do you think, Matt?
Are you challenging the front office to consult you next time they come up with a promotional item? Is that what you're?
It's just an idea.
It's a good idea.
Thank you.
We'll file that with your other great ideas. Edible paper. 1-2 to Jake. Base is empty, 1 gone. By the way, that Dodgers-Giants game, we mentioned how LA's taken a 2-1 lead. Luis Gonzalez hit his first LA home run in that one.
Did you notice Aaron Cook throwing much more, or is it many more, curveballs the second time around the lineup? Even to Jake Peavy. There's a high sinker.
You know what I have noticed? You see this? See this? I've noticed that behind the plate, it looks like we have an Oompa Loompa here. Right there.
Oh, yes. That's right.
The official Willy Wonka uniform. Two to Jake is swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aaron Cook. 4 all told and 14 in a row retired by the Rockies right-hander.
Well, he is locked in those 14 in a row, Matty. I'm looking at my scorecard. Only 3 times that the Padres have put the ball in the air. Everything else has been a strikeout or a grounder. So it's been tough to get the ball up in the air off of Cook.
Marcus Giles with the bases empty now. Another first pitch curveball, Mudcat.
Yep.
One base runner tonight, folks, and that was Josh Bard's leadoff double in the second. Cook has thrown only 74 pitches through now 5 2/3. It's going to make for an interesting decision for Clint Hurdle if in fact it continues this way. There we are. Extra bases into the left field corner. The tying runs aboard with 2 out in the 6th. Marcus Giles 4 for 9 in 3 games here versus Colorado.
Let's see if he beat him on the sinker. Yes, it was a high pitch and he wanted it down and away. Like Merv Redmond says, all these hitters say you have to try to force Cook to get the ball up. He put a good swing on it. Well, 2 out thunder. Need some points, Matty. Points. Experience it.
Let's see if Brian can drive home brother Marcus. Sinker starts him with a strike. Giles hitless 0 for 2 today. Only 2 hits for San Diego, both doubles. Bard's in the second, and now Marcus Giles double here in the 6th. Into the opposite field. Holiday retires the side. And San Diego shut out through 6. Still 1-0 Rockies. A reminder, sign up for the Friar Wire next time you're surfing the web. Free inside the clubhouse stories, the latest ticket deals, discounts on merchandise, and more. Padres.com and sign up for the Friar Wire. Jake Peavy's allowed just the 1 run on 4 singles this afternoon. There have been a grand total of 6 hits in the ballgame. Peavy will go back to work in the 7th. Holiday, Hop, and Turrialba trying to keep it 1-0. To figure out a way to get Aaron Cook out of the ballgame, Mudcat. Well, we've really seen some great pictures around town today. And for fans that have become familiar with our telecasts on Channel 4, yes, you are correct. They are new looks. Well, great shots of the Bay, great shots of Balboa Park, and that's the camera that is used high atop the Diamond View Tower, 15 stories up across from the ballpark, to capture some of these neat shots.
Did you see the windshield wiper on that? Who's got the control button on that? Morgino?
It's way up there, that camera. Is that a windshield wiper?
Yeah, see it? See the arm to the left?
It's a base hit for Matt Holliday. It looks like one of those cameras they use to take pictures of you when you're running red lights, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. You know it's unbelievable. Even though it's overcast and cloudy and a little mist falling at times, still a beautiful shot. That's Jane's Bridge.
Here's Brad Hop now with Holiday aboard. Hop has 2 of Colorado's 5 hits. That one gets by Gonzalez. Giles is there. They do get the out on Hop. But what could have been a double play ball is only a 1-out job here in the 7th as Holiday gets to second. Clay Meredith up in the San Diego bullpen.
You know, that could have been much worse. That ball could have rattled past Adrian Gonzalez. Extra bases, possibly, just possibly a run. Great job by Marcus Giles backing up, and Adrian Gonzalez knocking that ball down, keeping it in the infield.
There's Yorvit Torrealba now with a man at second and one away. Torrealba's hitless today.
Let's see if Torrealba swings as hard as Jake Peavy throws it. The last at bat I noticed, he threw him breaking balls and he kind of just felt for the baseball. He didn't attack it. He threw something hard. It was a harder swing.
A check swing this time on the appeal. Yeah, he went around. 1-1.
Does that make sense, Matty, when I describe it that way?
Yeah, like he swings harder the harder the pitch is.
Exactly. That's what he indicated last time at bat.
Two balls and a strike as he lays off a slider. Jake Peavy up to 91 pitches, 64 strikes, only 27 balls. He has been unbelievably efficient today. Yet if San Diego fails to get to Aaron Cook, Jake's performance will be nothing more than a footnote this afternoon. Back to Peavy, and they've got Holiday hung up.
Nice.
Jake looked him back and then got the sure out at first base. Nicely done by Peavy.
Sometimes pitchers will get a little froggy and they'll think, okay, I got to get that lead runner. Jake collects himself, gets Torrealba, and you know what? You look up at the scoreboard and there's 2 outs. Now they need a 2-out knock. As soon as Jake froze that runner Holiday, he went back. As soon as he makes that step back to second base, that's when you commit and get the out at first.
Just a good decision there.
Yep.
You know, you try to force the play at second base and you open yourself up to a potentially big inning. Now the Padres will walk Troy Tulowitzki, and I guess it's wishful thinking that Clint Hurdle would use a pinch hitter here to get Aaron Cook out of the ball game, but Cook's probably going to bat in his own spot.
Yeah, it's a good way to force his hand. But Matty, they're still have the jackets buttoned up down there.
Oh, there's no way Aaron Cook's coming out of this ball game yet. So he'll bat with 2 gone.
So that tells you Clint Hurdle feels comfortable with Aaron Cook going back out there with a 1-0 lead rather than having a pinch hitter who hasn't swung at a bat in a while and then going to his bullpen, because we showed you the numbers of the bullpen earlier.
That intentional walk, the first base on balls in the ball game. Aaron Cook is a career 110 hitter. And Jake coming right after him starts him with a strike.
Seems like Jake Peavy is just as sharp on his 97th pitch as he was on his 7th. That was a nice, sharp, tight slider.
0-2. When the Padres come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, the middle of the order, Gonzalez, Bard, and Cameron. Whoa. That one bounces away from Bard. Holiday and Tulowitzki advance. Wild pitch moves 2 runners into scoring position. And Buddy Black hoping that won't make a difference at all if Jake can just finish off the pitcher here. Crowd of 27,000 plus making noise behind Peavy. Breaking ball missed. And this is the first Easter Sunday crowd we've seen in quite some time where you just don't see the Easter bonnets all over the place, you know? It's a little too dreary an afternoon for the Easter bonnet per se. The 2-2. Full count now. Oh, I stand corrected. Not quite an Easter bonnet, but I get the picture. Ball 4. Peavy just missed with a fastball.
See the umpire flinch on that a little bit? Watch the umpire. Like he wanted to come up and ring him up. And he's asking, where was that at?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. Buddy Black comes out to visit now. This is the first time we've seen Buddy come out and make a managerial visit. He's made moves, but this is the first time that he's shown up on the field as a pitching coach, per se. That was pure psychology there.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see the body language and the way he was talking to Jake? It was a firm conversation, and I don't know what he said verbatim, but, you know, it's almost like, come on now. Let's forget about that. Let's get this guy. You're pitching a gem. We're only down by 1. You get out of this mess here, and we'll score you some runs. Let's go. And he patted him on the chest.
And there it is. Jake pays his manager the ultimate compliment as on the very next pitch he gets Finley to keep it scoreless in the 7th. Show your Padres pride every Friday home game by wearing Padres attire. Friar Fridays in San Diego feature special promotions and events. Visit the Padres Majestic Team Store or Padres.com for your official Friars gear today. They're up and stretching at Petco Park on this Easter Sunday, hoping for the same kind of late heroics that won it yesterday. Walk-off victory last night, sending 40,000 plus home happy. This has been all about Aaron Cook and Jake Peavy this afternoon. And how about this? The fact that last year, out of 41 qualified starters in the National League, Aaron Cook and Jake Peavy got some of the worst run support in baseball. Out of 41 starters, Jake's run support was 34th, and Cook's was even worse at 35th. So it looks like the same can be said, at least to start 2007, on this very afternoon for sure. But what a great job Jake Peavy did on Steve Finley, rather, with the bases loaded last half inning. Take a look at this. Entering the at-bat, Steve Finley was 5 for 9 against the Padres with the bases loaded. Better than 500. But Jake got him. A huge out to keep it 1-0. Oh, Mud, they're encouraging your shillelagh.
You know, I don't want to wear it out. You got to pick your spots, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Last night I had the feeling, in fact, Kevin Towers kind of egged me on a little bit, and once the general manager says something, you got to jump, right?
Yeah, because we know you don't like to wear things out. Very diplomatic. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. A bouncer to second base. Matsui flips it over to Helton, and there's one away. Aaron Cook has kept Gonzalez quiet, among others, today.
Only 79 pitches from the right-hander Cook. And Matty, we mentioned the percentages. 70+%, 80, 83, 81%. Last year were fastballs, and he's thrown his share. There's another sinker.
2 pitches and 2 outs for Cook in the 7th. There's 6 Massey Nissan locations in San Diego, including Escondido, Oceanside, El Cajon, National City, Kearney Mesa, and Poway. Check out any one of the 6. Test drive an Armada. A big V8, plenty of room, and it's a luxury ride with that kind of power behind it as well.
Love carting the kids around town. My wife loves driving it. Like you said, Matty, going to the beach or down to the lake, plenty of room. And when mom's happy, everybody's happy.
2 gone for Mike Cameron. Stand corrected as Cook retired the first 2 batters on 3 pitches. Still just a 1-0 game. This gets to be the time in the afternoon when you just look for somebody to run into one. Instead, it's 3 ground ball outs as Aaron Cook continues to mow down the Padres. He played 7 complete. It's still 1-0. Still 1-0 Colorado, and we're into the bullpen for the first time this afternoon as Clay Meredith is on to relieve Jake Peavy here in the 8th.
We've seen a lot of sinkers from Aaron Cook, the righty for the Colorado Rockies. Well, prepare yourself to see a lot of sinkers and sweeping breaking balls from Clay Meredith. He's one of those guys, especially after last year. You see the numbers this year. You feel very comfortable that he can complete this inning and have the Padres still only trail by 1 run. That's the objective right here. Get him right back in the dugout.
Clay pitched in the first 2 games of the season in San Francisco, has not appeared since. He starts it against Kazuo Matsui, Atkins, and Helton here for Colorado. Been so impressed with this guy this series. You know, Kazuo Matsui, a switch hitter, did not start switch hitting until his 3rd year with the Seibu Lions. He was already a professional baseball player.
That is impressive.
You remember the Padres initially were mentioned as one of the teams that were in the Matsui sweepstakes. There's a bouncer to third. Kuzmanov's in on it and gets him by a step, 1 away. Seaside Pontiac Buick GMC take us beyond the Sunday afternoon box score. Ex-Rocky Jason Jennings had his lunch handed to him at Houston today. In fact, that's 2 bad starts for Jennings as an Astro. Cardinals beat him 10-1. And it's now 6-1. The Dodgers have increased their advantage in San Francisco, on the verge of handing the Giants a sweep. It's not going to be very pleasant for Bruce Bochy coming back to San Diego tomorrow if the Giants are 1-5, and it appears they're headed that way.
And going back to that Houston Astro game, that's one tough yard to pitch in. You got to keep that sinker down. Be interesting to see how Woody Williams does this year.
Garrett Atkins bounces it to Khalil Green. 2 gone for Meredith in the 8th.
Well, Jake Peavy, a nice line this afternoon. 7 solid innings, 5 hits. He gave up 1 run, 1 walk, which was intentional, and he punched out 3.
Two-way for Todd Helton. Again, we do remind you, you saw it a moment ago. Join us tomorrow. Honda pregame show at 6:30. And then play-by-play Padres and Giants tomorrow night. First pitch at 7:05. Matt Cain and Chris Young, a rematch of Game 2 of the season played up in San Francisco last week. Chris Young and Matt Cain tomorrow. Clay Hensley and Matt Morris on Wednesday, another rematch from last week's series. And then Greg Maddux and Noah Lowry on Wednesday night. One and 2 to Todd Helton. Shot out to right field. Giles is there to make the catch and retire the side. A quick 1-2-3/8 by Clay Meredith. The Padres have 6 outs left to try to get something done against Aaron Cook. Well, the Padres have 3 good shots to try to get to Aaron Cook here in the last of the 8th. Khalil Green, Kevin Kuzmanoff, and Jose Cruz Jr. each with the ability to tie it with 1 swing of the bat. Been the Aaron Cook show here this afternoon, and as good as Jake Peavy was, Aaron Cook's performance is likely the one to garner the headlines tomorrow morning. He's allowed just 2 hits, just 2 base runners today. And he's in front of Khalil Green, 0-2.
Well, Jake did all he could, right? First start against the Giants, 6 solid innings, no runs.
Garrett Atkins throws out Green, 1 away. The only hits today, doubles by Bard and Marcus Giles. Kuzminov now. I like how the fans have gotten into Kuzminov. Do you hear the boo sound, the ooh sound? Fans doing their coos. That didn't take long. Just the third home game of the year. Fans are already into it. One and 0 to Kevin.
Is that little side dish you can order at restaurants? Couscous? Couscous? What are they?
Yeah, couscous.
Yeah. What exactly is that?
Couscous?
Yeah.
You know, I've had it before. It's like isn't it like a cracked wheat and wheat or grain based, like it's like a wad?
No, I've had it. I'm just
like a ball of clump, like polenta kind of.
like rice almost.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, 1-2 to Kevin Kuzminov. Jose Cruz waiting on deck. And Kevin appropriately taking a little time to reset here. 2-2. The ESPN Sunday night game tonight is Boston at Texas. Rangers trying to sweep the Red Sox. And Boston sends Curt Schilling to work today. Schilling versus Padilla in your ESPN Sunday night matchup. Kevin bounces it to shortstop. Tulowitzki's got it. And there are two away.
Well, here's how Aaron Cook went after Kuzminov via the Carl's Jr. pitch track. Sinker, sinker. Now, this last pitch coming up is a hanging breaking ball that right there. Oh, I know it's easier said than done, but with the way he's pitching today, he's been keeping guys off balance with that sinker. That was one of the few pitches he threw this afternoon, Matty, that he hung, and he got away with it.
2 away for Cruz Jr., who's in front 1-0. This considered a rally this afternoon. You know what I just noticed on that appeal call down to the third base umpire? Bill Hahn, the third base umpire, has a serious Old West facial hair going. Look at that. That's straight Wyatt Earp.
It almost looks fake, doesn't it? Like he's trying to hide from somebody.
Looks like he should have like a black mask on and a big 10-gallon hat with a couple of 6-shooters in each hand.
Nice.
Taking a watch off a guy in the coach car. Get out. Open the porch door. Get out for Cruz Jr. Get out. It's off the wall. That might be a home run. And yes, first base umpire Phil Cuzzy saying, touch them all, Hosey. The Friars have tied it 1 apiece. Thank you, Petco Porch.
And Matty, Clint Hurdle's going to come out and dispute that call. Look at Jose Cruz Jr. And look at the socks. That's the way his daddy, Chop, Cheo Cruz, used to wear them.
And absolutely a home run. That replay, a great shot, validates that the ball hit over the yellow stripe on the wall. So Clint Hurdle will try to argue his case to no avail. This is a clear shot. And it validates the call. That is absolutely a home run.
Yep. You see the yellow line there above the Petco sign, like you said, Matty, above the yellow line. Home run.
The question isn't whether or not the fan interfered with it because, oh, it's Luigi, of course. Well, let's watch it again. It's a short porch down there. And even if the fan did reach over to interfere, that's a home run because it's over the yellow line.
I'm wondering if Hurdle is disputing whether he thought Hop had a chance of catching that ball. I honestly don't think he did. You know what I'm saying? I think the fan touched it before Hop had a chance, a legitimate chance to try to catch the ball. See the ball, it's way past Hopp's glove.
Yeah.
And it's above the yellow line, as you indicated, and Jerry Crawford there. Touch them all, big boy.
It's a home run. Jose Cruz Jr. has tied it at 1 apiece on an afternoon when nobody could do anything with Aaron Cook. And as dominant as he's been, we're right back to a push. A 1-1 tie, and now the bullpens play the huge role. And the fact that San Diego's bullpen has been so dominant, the Rockies bullpen has given up a run every game this year. The pinch hitter is Russell Branyan, who homered yesterday. Russell Branyan with another opposite field drive, and this one dies in front of the wall. San Diego gets the run to tie on the Cruz home run. We played 8 complete on Easter Sunday, a brand new story, all tied 1 apiece. You bet he got it. The home run that ties it for San Diego in the bottom of the 8th. Jose Cruz Jr., who has already proven his value in a week into the season. He's come up with some big hits this first week, Mudcat.
Yes, he has, and it could have been more perfect timing. And once again, it's the late life of the Padres. We talked about it. 7 innings, 8th inning, 9th inning. The production of the offense. It came through right then. I'm jacked up.
Trevor Hoffman earned the win last night by pitching the top of the 9th. It was his first victory since midway through the 2005 season. And Hoffy will go to work with the tie score once again here, not just 24 hours later. Matt Holliday leads it off against Hoffman. Holliday, Hop, and Torrealba for the Rockies. And then when we go to the top or bottom of the 9th inning, San Diego will have the top of the order. That means Adrian Gonzalez will have an at-bat. Tapped him up. 1 away.
Hey, Matty, how about North? In San Francisco, 9-1 in the 7th. Dodgers over the Giants.
Oh, boy. I'll bring up Todd Helton now. I'll bring up Brad Hopp now. A little too froggy. Brad Hopp is 2 for 3 with the RBI today. The reason we were talking Todd Helton there is to continue the conversation from yesterday. We noted that Todd Helton has 14 hits against Trevor Hoffman, and we wondered aloud where that ranks among not only active but players to have faced Trevor. And Chiron Bob Wiersdorfer, our very fine associate producer, answered the question. Todd Helton, more hits against Trevor Hoffman than anybody in baseball history.
Pretty mixed as far as righty, lefty, lefty, righty. Helton, lefty. Bichette, righty. Grissom, righty. Karros, righty. Taubensee, lefty. Gonzalez, lefty. And Piazza, righty. So
two balls and a strike to count here to Brad Hopp. 2-2.
one thing I've noticed about Trevor, he's been really on with his location. You know what I mean? Pinpoint the fastball, locating the changeup where he needs to. When he's ahead in the count, he'll bounce it.
Got him.
Oh, my.
Hopp doesn't like the call. 2 gone for Trevor in the 9th. We'll take a look and see if he's got a gripe here.
I think he does, but you know what? Hang with him.
So here's Yorvik Torrealba now. The Rockies bullpen is busy. We got LaTroy Hawkins the right-hander, up. Brian Fuentes, the closer, is also up. Aaron Cook's thrown 95 pitches through 8. (1-0) to Torrealba, 2 balls and no strikes. Do you think it's a certainty that they're going to go to the bullpen here? Is there a chance that Aaron Cook will be given a 9th inning?
I think they're going to the bullpen.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be manager's decision because the pitcher spot has not come up here in the 9th, so Cook is still an option for Clint Hurdle. 2-1.
It's just a gut feeling, Matty, but Branyan lined out hard. The home run from Cruz. A lot of ground balls before that, but Marcus Giles hit the double. Maybe the 3rd, 4th time around. I think he wants to maybe change it up a little bit. That's just my gut feeling.
We'll find out right now. We go to the last of the 9th inning. San Diego has an opportunity for a back-to-back walk-off winner against the Rockies. The Dodgers come to town to make their first San Diego appearance at the end of the month as Jake Peavy lets us know what's happening at Petco Park.
Be here when we take on the Dodgers April 28th at 7:05 and stay after the game for the fireworks show.
Family fireworks presented by Bank of America. Visit Padres.com for tickets. Saturday, April 28th against the Dodgers. Marcus Giles leads it off against Aaron Cook, who remains in the ball game. 1 gone for Cook on his 96th pitch of the afternoon.
You know, that's what's great about the game of baseball. You get 20 people in a room and you try to play manager. I was wrong. I honestly thought they were going to have one of the 2 guys come in out of the bullpen, shake it up a little bit, maybe give him a different look. But you know what? I can see where Clint Hurdle feels confident being tied rather than going to the bullpen, who has the high numbers. And plus the pitch count. That was the 97th pitch. 97 for Aaron Cook.
A ball and no strikes. The count to Brian Giles, who's hitless today. Base hit. Winning run is aboard with 1 away. This has a familiar odor. Yesterday, last of the 9th inning, San Diego and Colorado tied at 2. It was a leadoff single by Jose Cruz Jr. Adrian Gonzalez had the opportunity to be a hero yesterday, and he cashed in with the game-winning RBI, a double to deep left center field. Cruz and Giles were aboard yesterday with 1 out in the last of the 9th. Against Manny Corpus, that was the game winner. Can Adrian do it again this afternoon? Into right center field. The winning run 90 feet away with 1 gone.
And just like that, right-hander LaTroy Hawkins up in the bullpen after this pitch. Too much of the plate. After looking sick on a sinker to fall behind, he connects and pulls this one.
Now here comes Rockies pitching coach Bob Apodaca. It's usually Clint Hurdle that makes the change. So we'd assume this is going to be merely a conversation. And quite frankly, I like the decision the Rockies have made to let Cook try to give him the 9 innings. The bullpen has really struggled for the Rockies. Cook is their ace. He's thrown 100 pitches. They're giving him a chance to decide his own fate here. He's earned that chance.
Absolutely. And you know what? He's good enough to where his sinker still seems to be sharp. Bob Apodaca is saying, you know what, kid, you've gotten this far. You've thrown a lot of sinkers down in the zone. Try to throw one more right here and try to get a grounder.
Well, here's the good news for San Diego. Aaron Cook, for his career, in the 9th inning, and he doesn't get here that often, but in the 9th inning, opponents are hitting .500 against him. 17 for 34, and that was entering today.
You know what, Matty? Pitches 94 to 100. 1 home run, 2 lineouts, and 2 hard-hit singles.
Boy, it really does appear as though he's hit the wall. They're going to try to coax 2 more outs out of him. Josh Bard thinking just put a ball in play into the outfield. A fly ball can win it for San Diego here in the 9th. So good in 1-run games last year. Only the Mets had a better National League record in 1-run affairs. 1-1 to Bard.
Once again, the outfield playing shallow. The deep fly ball definitely going to win it. They want that 1 hopper just in case. Very highly unlikely, though, to throw somebody out the plate if the ball hit directly at one of the outfielders on the 1 hop.
A bouncer over the mound. Tulowitzki gets 1 in both. They double up Bard, and we're playing extra innings downtown this afternoon. The sinker ball specialist goes 9. We're still tied at 1. Well, let's keep the Easter egg hunt on hold for another inning or 2. We go to bonus baseball. Extra innings for the first time this year. A pitching change for San Diego on in relief of Trevor Hoffman. Right-hander Scott Linebrink.
And here's a guy who can throw the egg with the best of them.
Oh, nice.
Nice numbers early on for Scott Linebrink.
Tulowitzki, then a pinch hitter, and then Steve Finley here in the Rockies' 10th. It looked like the Padres had done enough to get to Aaron Cook and ruin what had been a brilliant start by the Rocky right-hander. Back-to-back 1-out singles, and then Cook, who last year induced 28 double plays, 5th most in the National League, turned a big one here to send this ball game to the 10th. The 1-2 to Tulowitzki, 2-2 now. Last year in extra innings games, the Padres were 10-12. They played in more extra innings games than anybody in baseball. The Rockies had good success in extra innings last year. 8 wins, 4 losses. Full count. John Mabry will bat next. He's the pinch hitter in the pitcher spot. A well-traveled ex-Padre. Got him looking.
Well, Scott Linebrink threw him some split fingers, threw him some sliders, and that's the old freeze fastball. Yes, on the corner, belt high. You bet.
John Mabry as a Rocky, playing for his 8th major league team in an 11-year major league career. 0 for 2 this season. Both of his at-bats have come as a pinch hitter. The 36-year-old left-handed hitter in with the bases empty and 1 gone. And he bounces at to Marcus Giles. And 2 away for Scotty here in the 10th. When San Diego hits in the bottom of the 10th inning, Cameron, Green, and Kuzminoff. And by that point, the Rockies will have to go to their bullpen. They've pinch hit for Cook. And it's the same 2 up that have been up for the last inning or so, LaTroy Hawkins and Brian Fuentes.
Well, what a gem Aaron Cook tossed, huh? And Jose Cruz Jr. with the high pants and the pulled up stirrups like his daddy used to wear them, going to the porch to tie it up. And I've said this for many, many years, Maddie. You know what I'm going to say. Remember Tom Seaver saying it takes 100 pitches to pitch a gem, right, to get a victory. But one of those 100 pitches towards the end of a ball game could be the difference in a no decision and a loss. Just one pitch.
Well, that's the story today.
That's why it's so amazing. You look at Maddox, Wells, those guys winning 300 games, 230 games.
Mike Cameron makes the catch, and he'll lead things off as we go to the bottom of the 10th. Still tied 1 apiece. Bottom of the 10th inning, still tied 1 apiece, and the Rockies go to the bullpen for the first time this afternoon after 9 brilliant innings by Aaron Cook. Right-hander LaTroy Hawkins will be making his 5th appearance in just 6 games to start the season for Colorado.
And we saw it earlier in the series, the exposing of the bullpen, the numbers of the bullpen for the Colorado Rockies. Not good numbers early on for LaTroy Hawkins. Only 3 2/3, but still, as a reliever, you go out there and you have a bad start like that, it's tough to bounce back. You have that mindset. This is a tough situation with the score tied, and LaTroy Hawkins coming in to face Mike Cameron.
Cameron, Green, and Kuzminoff for San Diego. LaTroy Hawkins pitched here on Friday night in the opener. He pitched a scoreless inning, allowing a double to Khalil Green, who bats next.
Hey, Matty, you think Aaron Cook likes pitching against the San Diego Padres?
Yes.
Before today, the last 9 starts for Aaron Cook versus the Friars. 6-1, 2 no decisions, and a nice 1.81 ERA. He good.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Cameron. Two and 2 to Mike.
I just noticed LaTroy Hawkins, when he threw that breaking ball, he kind of tilted back with his upper body to try to get on top of that breaking ball rather than a lower 3/4 on the sinker or the fastball. And you know what? Over the course of time, hitters can pick up on that.
Fastball's fouled away. We talked about LaTroy Hawkins a little bit Friday night, the fact that he spent all of 2006 in Baltimore, and that was after a really difficult 05. He split the season between the Cubs and Giants, was given an opportunity to close in both of those cities, and did not fare well as a stopper. Cameron checks the swing and runs it to a full count, 3-2. Making the 34-year-old right-hander work hard here.
I remember another thing I noticed about LaTroy Hawkins early in the series, not only kind of forcing himself to get on top of the breaking ball, but also slowing up the arm action when he threw his changeup.
Cameron fouls away another fastball. It's still a full count, 3-2. Again, Green next, Kuzminoff in the hold.
See what LaTroy Hawkins does when he gets a new baseball? It looked like he's using like his nails to like raise the seams of the baseball. Is that illegal?
It is. If in fact that's what he's doing.
Because I know a lot of guys will get the baseball, act like they're rubbing it up, but they drag their nail up against the seams to raise the seams a little bit.
All fastballs on a full count, and Hawkins strikes out Cameron.
Good fastball with a little run on it. And it looks like a two-seam grip.
Threw him 3 straight fastballs to get him. Here's Greeny now. After 3 hits on Friday night, Khalil is 0 for his last 8. The Padres' early home run leader with a pair. As I was reminded by our head of baseball research, Ed Barnes, last year Khalil Greene started out swinging the big shillelagh as well. Through 6 games last season, 4 home runs. This is game number 6 today, and he's already got a pair. Checks it to fall behind 0-2. Kuzminoff next with the bases empty and 1 away. And what was a roar in the bottom of the 9th has dissipated into a murmur here in the bottom of the 10th. That's into right center field, in trouble for the Rockies as it splits Finley and Hop. Greeny's on the move. He's going to drive for third base. Matsui's throw to third is too late. Oh. The winning run at third base again with only 1 out.
Khalil Greene could not have placed this ball any better. Down and away, going with it right to Cox Alley. Okay, the race is on, right? Hit the cutoff man, get it to third base. And just when you think you've got nothing to do as far as being a pitcher, remember, you have to back up. Plays right in front of Greeny. He can turn it on when he wants to. He's got some wheels. And LaTroy Hawkins backing up. The ball comes in and hits Khalil Greene almost into the dugout, and that would have been the game winner. LaTroy Hawkins actually had to dive to prevent that ball from going in the dugout.
Infield in for the Rockies. Kevin Kuzminoff with an opportunity to be the hero. This is almost exactly where we were in the bottom of the 9th. San Diego had runners at the corners with 1 gone in the 9th, and that's when Bard grounded into the double play. Now it's Kevin Kuzminoff looking for that game-winning fly ball. One and one.
Just get a ball up in the zone to elevate and go to hacking.
Off the plate, 2-1.
You know, also going to say, Matt, in this situation, infield in, right? You want the grounder? How about a pitcher overthrowing a breaking ball maybe and bouncing one?
We've seen that happen. With 1 out, Khalil Greene tripled to right center on an 0-2 pitch. He's your game-winning run with 1 away. Jose Cruz Jr. on deck, and on 3-1 now, we'll see how carefully Hawkins works to Kuzminoff. A base hit, San Diego wins it. Kevin Kuzminoff is your hero this afternoon as the Padres have defeated the Rockies in the 2nd consecutive walk-off win. 2-1 Friars. Khalil Greene's 1-out triple set up Kuzminoff's heroics. And San Diego overcomes a fantastic start by Aaron Cook to make a winner of Scott Linebrink. and make it 2 consecutive series wins to open the 07 schedule.
I'm just glad to see that Kevin Kuzminov goes the opposite way rather than trying to pull that ball. He hit it hard. He hit it where it was pitched. And the crushing Russian gets bobbed. Glad to see that, Matty.
Giles took him down like he had bad intentions. Boy, watch out! Look at the Giles brothers. They look like they're trying to rip his head off. They got like a WWE thing going on there.
Give Kuzminov 2 points for the reversal.